Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Very important developments. And I'm talking about Ukraine, Russia, Putin, Zelensky, and Trump. Earlier today, I made a video, and I'm going to show you right here, in which these baboons right here, which are France's Macron, Germany's Merz, Poland, Tusk, and from Great Britain, Mr. Starmer, plus Zelensky, they issued an ultimatum to Russia. And they said, you need to accept the 30-day ceasefire. Russia responded like this. They said, no, we will not, but we give you a counteroffer. If you want this week, the following week, we can meet if you want directly in Turkey and continue the negotiations. Erdogan spoke with Putin. Erdogan said, I'm ready to be over there and offer the venue. I hope he doesn't offer the same venue as he offered Mr. Khashoggi, but nevertheless, he said, I'm going to offer you the venue, come over. Well, this is Zelensky's response to that, and this is Trump's response to that, to Putin's offer to meet the Ukrainians this week, just right now, with no preconditions. And I made a case in this video today that these guys don't want peace. They will find all kind of little things to avoid making peace. Like, I want to negotiate with you about, I know, your property, and you tell me you're not going to talk to me because my shirt doesn't look good. I change my shirt to say, well, your hair doesn't look good. I fix my hair, I know, your cock is too small, or something like that. Things unrelated to the issue, therefore postponing the whole thing because they don't want to talk about the property, as the Poles did with Danzig or Gdansk with the Germans before the Second World War. So let's go to this article that I have here. I have two articles in which Trump intervenes, and you're going to see Zelensky's response. Let's start with Trump. Sputnik. Ukraine should agree immediately to Putin's proposal on talks in Istanbul. Remember, Putin offered to discuss with no precondition right here. Putin offers Ukraine direct talks without preconditions. Erdogan accepts Putin's request to host Russia-Ukraine talks. These are articles I used in the video today. It's not me just pulling out of my butt. All right? And these guys are Yermak calls for ceasefire before talks. And Zelensky, Ukraine ready to talk, but only if Russia holds all attacks. Macron, there can be no negotiations while weapons are speaking. As I told you, I don't like your shirt, I'm not going to talk to you. But it's not about my shirt. Let's talk, even if you don't like my shirt. I will fix my shirt later. It's okay. The point is, let's talk about it. So let's read what Trump said right here. This guy. And how valid that is. I think Trump, if he's allowed by his Zelensky Steins behind him and in front of him and to the left and to the right, he will call for Zelensky's removal. Even though it's undemocratic, but you know, the Americans have this, they did this before, which is regime change in Syria. Assad must go. They just decide. The leader of a country must go. Remember when I said Saddam must go? Putin must go. They just decide for other countries. But other countries cannot say that to us because it's interference. Okay? So the same. I think Trump, this is for real, and Zelensky is not a Zelensky Stein. He say, well, Zelensky must go. We'll see who opposes Trump. You know who's going to oppose? The whole media. I'm sorry, the media operatives, the mainstream media, the corporate media. So let's see what Trump actually said. US President Donald Trump told Ukraine on Sunday to immediately accept Russian President Vladimir Putin's offer to talks in Istanbul. Now, listen, I tried to look over my regular, my regular browser, and nothing about this. There was no news about this. No news that Trump told Zelensky anything. Why? They don't like it. And this is what Trump wrote on his Truth Social. President Putin of Russia doesn't want to have a ceasefire agreement with Ukraine, but rather wants to meet on Thursday in Turkey to negotiate a possible end to the bloodbath. Ukraine should agree to this immediately. I have to remind you that Trump is the chief negotiator, master negotiator, cheese Norok, with some my personal wine made by me. So remember, Trump urges and says Zelensky should accept. Do you think Zelensky will accept? All right. Trump suggested this way Moscow and Russia could at least determine whether or not a deal is possible, and if it's not, European leaders and the US will know where everything stands and can proceed accordingly. And I'm quoting, "I'm starting to doubt that Ukraine will make a deal with Putin, who's too busy celebrating the victory of World War II. Have the deal now," Trump wrote. All right, that's the first one. Second one, Russia Today, May 11th. Ukraine should agree to Putin's proposal of talks immediately, Trump. The US president, however, expressed doubts that Kiev will be able to reach a deal with Moscow. Why? Because he already spoke with the Russians and with the Ukrainians. So again, urged Ukraine to immediately agree to a proposal of direct, unconditional talks put forward by Russian President Vladimir Putin earlier Sunday. And the same thing here. I'm standing to doubt that Ukraine will make a deal with Putin, he added. All right, so let's see what Zelensky's response to this is. And Zelensky's response is of a thug. He is, you want to talk to him and he's going to say, why a ceasefire or 3 days? How about 30 days? If Putin says, how about 40 days? He's going to say, no, how about 30 days? How about 40 days? No, 30 days. How about 31 days? No, 30 days. What the fuck? He did the same thing. He's talking about, this is Zelensky, he's talking about a ceasefire for 3 days during Victory Day. We want a long-lasting peace. În pula mea, take it. Take that and we can move on with that one. So, no, he's just like, and people think he's funny. They portray as being funny and very fast. Know what I mean? After all, he was a clown. I'm sorry, how do you call that? A comedian. Yeah, I mean, Jon Stewart, Leibovitz, and others. Anyway, so let's move to, what's his name? Zelensky's response. Now, take a few breaths, like, before I read this for you. Because you feel like, not with an open palm, with a beach slap. All right, here. Russia Today, 11th of May. Zelensky sets conditions for direct talks with Putin in Turkey. The Ukrainian leader, I hate when these guys call this guy Ukrainian leader, has said he would be waiting for the Russian president on Thursday, but only if Moscow agrees to a truce first. First, I explained this many times. This guy Zelensky, he as a person, without the help from the sponsors, he would be gone. Ukraine will be lost in 2 weeks maximum. Yeah, maximum 2 weeks. That could be in 3 days. So he depends on those guys. He depends. We are told that United Kingdom, France, these imbeciles plus United States of America give aid to Ukraine. Otherwise, Ukraine will be zero, dead, done. So he is the one who needs the West, unless the West needs him to finish the job against the Russians. But the guys in the West are clear so far that they can't beat the Russians in a conventional war so far. Why don't they just take these, like they put him over there, hit him a little bit to the big, you know what I mean? And do what they did to Saddam Hussein, what they did to Gaddafi, what they did to Sadat. No, he must go. He must go. All right, Assad, not Sadat. Assad, Bashar al-Assad. All right, so no, they won't do that. And he's talking. Losers don't get to set the terms. So what are you talking? I'm going to meet you if you do this first. Can you hear everybody saying you should go? Who the fuck is this guy, people? Who is he? Who is behind him that he can say this kind of things? And nobody can slap him around. I'm not talking about slapping around. You know what I mean? Here is the little minibus. Go to Katyn forest. You know what I mean? Get your commissars, your Soviet commissars, some of yours. They go to Katyn forest. And in Katyn forest, you're going to have your commissars sending you to Moses. I'm just kidding, my friend. I'm just kidding. I don't care. Actually, my problem is these guys cannot intervene, or they won't because it's just a game. I can't believe that Trump cannot tell this baboon, get out, use the methods and get him out. I can't believe. Unless he doesn't want to. Therefore, this is just a stage, is a game between the West together with Zelensky to again screw the Russians? Because Zelensky can be picked up like this and catapulted to London or to, I don't know, New York. So let's see what else he has to say. Ukraine's Vladimir Zelensky has stated he is ready to personally meet the President Vladimir Putin on Turkey. That means they will fight on Thursday, but only if Moscow first agrees to a truce. His statement came in response to Russia's proposal to begin peace talks without preconditions. So Russia, the ones that is bunching you and you're down and you would be knocked out without the guys who tell you to go, said, you know what? No preconditions. I don't set any preconditions. Just show up. As Khabib said, give me location to McGregor. Give me location. Give me location. I'm going to show up. The same Putin. Give me location. I will show up. And I'm going to do a uchimata to you. All right? Or Oroshi, whatever. Haragoshi. And come on, let's go. But this guy, only if you do this first to me, suck my thing. Really? You're not in a position. As Trump said, you don't have any cards. You have no cards. We're beyond that. With this guy cannot be a reason like that. And I'm calling for this comedian. I will be waiting for Putin in Turkey on Thursday. Personally, Zelensky wrote in a post on X on Saturday, he still maintained that Kiev awaits a full and lasting ceasefire starting from tomorrow to provide the necessary basis for diplomacy. He still thinks that we are baboons and the media covers for him. Right here, on Saturday, the Russian president offered Kiev the opportunity to restart direct negotiations in Istanbul, which it unilaterally walked away from in 2022 when Boris Johnson showed up and said, no, you stay put. The Ukrainian leader also stated that he expressed Moscow not to look to excuses this time, expected Moscow not to look for excuses. So he, who wants preconditions, tell Russian not to look for excuses this time. My friends, if it's not clear who's who, what's... The only thing that's really... who exactly is. I mean, I am 98% certain behind Zelensky's time, it's their interest that harness United Kingdom and United States of America, obviously. But I think that he is the Brits guy, mainly. Then the Americans as well, because, by alliance and so on. The Germans are, the French want to, like always, be important, but that's it. And the Brits seem to have a lot of power, and they do have a lot of power, political and financial power, to force the hand of some. Now, if Trump is the one that he says he is, and they say that Trump is, United States is the way it is, he should be able to say, you leave, man, by tomorrow at noon, I don't want to see you in Ukraine. Do you think the Ukrainians will say, Trump? Why would he care? He didn't care about the Syrians, the Iraqis, or the, how do you call the other guys? Jesus Christ, from Muammar Gaddafi, Libyans. He didn't care about the Libyans either. Well, hey, they talk about Milosevic of Yugoslavia. He has to go. Who are these guys? But Zelensky is right there, and did you see what he did in the White House? Who behaves like that? Now, in my world, Zelensky would have stayed in the White House longer. And he would have been shipped to Ukraine. Or maybe, I don't know, to Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. Thank you very much for being with me again today. This is, if Trump doesn't tell him to get the fuck out, that means it's a game. It's a game in which Trump has either is part of the game or he has no power, actually. He has no power. How come he had power against all those bad dudes mentioned? But he doesn't have power about this guy who depends on him. Gaddafi, Saddam, and Milosevic, and what's the other guy's name? Bashar al-Assad. They did not depend on America at all with anything. If tomorrow America unplugs the aid, this guy implodes. He's dead. Darkness. And he says it like I don't know, my friends. And they ask us to be all honorable in the world. When you see this kind of things, what do you think? And I should follow the law? I should drive below speed limit? When I see what's going on with this guy? I mean, things are reversed. I mean, all the logic is upside down. That guy who, without these guys, is zero, just tell them to everybody. Zelensky tells everybody to fuck off. The Russians, the Americans, to everybody. Who is this guy, man? Who is he? A clown, man. A clown. Thank you very much for being with me again today. A thug. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.